Okay, children, today I'm going to do all the questions, MCQ questions that are possible in the chapter of transpiration. And now we start. I'm Mrs. Makar here, and I will be discussing all the questions and answers, and the possible answers will be in your options, and you have to pick up the right ones. It could be 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Okay, so you pick up the right and do them. So here we, in this paragraph, we do the importance of transpiration. Transpiration, the reasons, the usefulness of transpiration is it creates suction force in the stem to enable the roots to absorb water and mineral nutrients. And the second is for cooling the plant in hot weather. Here suction force, when you are having cold drink, so you suck from the straw. So this is the suction force, and all the content of the bottle, and it comes into your wherever you're sucking the mouth. Okay, so this is how this is also an importance here, that the suction force is created, and it helps the plant to the roots to absorb water. Okay, then we have the transpiration definition. Transpiration ki definition is like loss of water, 1, in the form of water vapor, 2, from the leaves or the aerial parts of the plant. 3 points are there. You have to note these 3 points. Okay, then here we take a potted plant and we put a polythene, and here we close it here, the polythene, and we do not take the soil part. We only take the upper part of the plant, the stem, and we close it. After some time we see there are droplets of water in the polythene, and this shows that transpiration is taking place. And if you want to test the water present, that there is water present, so you can do it with a cobalt chloride paper. It will change the paper from blue to pink. Then we have this experiment in which there are 3 jars we are taking, bell jars. Here we have one plant. Here we have a plant and a paper here. This is a cobalt chloride paper, and here this is a control experiment. Here we only have the cobalt chloride paper. The original color of the paper is blue. Here we take the here transpiration is taking place. Transpiration is also taking place here, but we don't have the cobalt chloride paper. Here transpiration is taking place, but we have the cobalt chloride paper, which has turned to pink because of the presence of the moisture due to transpiration. So, and here we don't have the plant, so the paper remains blue here. So you needn't go into the detail, just understand this and answer your questions. Then here we have measurement of transpiration. We take a plant, and this experiment is set up like this. We keep it on a weighing machine, and after some time the weight, we see the weight, that after transpiration, because there has been loss of water because of transpiration, so the weight of the setup, it decreases. Okay, then we have this experiment. This you must be remembering. This was also there. A similar setup was there in absorption of water by roots. Here we are showing transpiration. Here there is a difference, that we do not have the roots here. You see that we do not have the roots. So we are not showing absorption here. We are showing only the transpiration. There is loss of water due to transpiration from the aerial parts of the plant. And here we have put oil, so that the water in the test tube is not lost because of evaporation. Okay, so there is oil here. Okay, so this experiment is only showing that there is transpiration and loss of water due to transpiration. Then this is an important experiment here, which is showing Ganong's potometer. What is the name? Ganong's potometer. Here we have this beaker in which water is filled, and this setup is done like this. There is a twig and the twig, the end of the twig is in the water, and here there is a scale. Here we have a water, here we have an air bubble, okay, and this is a reservoir. Now I'm going to explain it to you. When water is lost from this part of the plant, so it takes, the water is going from here, and this air bubble is the measurement. We keep the air bubble here at the 0 point, and this air bubble moves in front, and as it moves, so we come to know the measurement, that how much has it moved. That movement shows the how much the plant is transpiring. Okay, transpiration is taking place because of that suction force. Water is being pulled up. And then once you have done it for 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever you have thought, or you have seen that the air bubble has moved from 1 to 0 to 2 or whatever, you've done the experiment. Now you want to do the experiment again. So what do? There is this reservoir. You open this tap and you let in the water so that this air bubble goes again to 0, and you can again start your experiment. But there are some precautions that need to be taken doing this experiment. This is the potometer should be watertight, so that there is no other entry point of water inside the potometer. And the twig should be cut obliquely, like when you are cutting, it should be cut obliquely like this, not like this, so that there is maximum surface, okay, there is large surface for the water intake, okay, and the underwater, to avoid suction of an air bubble into the, and okay, this is you have this obliquely cut so that more water can go inside. And one more thing you have to do is that when you are when the water is going inside, the twig has to be cut inside the water, so that we do not there is no air bubble introduced into the twig, because if any air bubble is introduced, then it will stop the absorption of water into the twig, because the xylem vessels are very thin, very small. So even one air bubble will stop the xylem from absorbing water. So there will be no transpiration taking place. Then there are limitations in this experiment. It is that introducing the air bubble is not easy. The twig may not remain alive, fully alive, because it is not getting any food. Okay, so it is going to die. And because there would be change in the air temperature outside, so we cannot do the same experiment. We cannot get the same results every time. For example, you do this experiment from 8 to 9 in the morning. So it is not necessary that when you do the experiment from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the weather conditions are going to be the same. So the readings will be different. Now we are going to study the kinds of transpiration. There are 3 kinds of transpiration through the stomata. So this is stomatal transpiration. Through the surface of the leaves where cuticle is present. Here you can see there is a layer, cuticle. So from here also cuticle transpiration takes place. This is called cuticular transpiration. And there are some openings on the surface of the old woody stems. So these are called lenticels. So this is lenticular transpiration. So maximum transpiration takes place from stomata, then cuticular, and the minimum is from the cuticle. Lenticular is the second, and least is from the cuticle. Then we have this mechanism of stomatal transpiration. So stomatal transpiration, you know, from the stomata this transpiration takes place. See, during the daytime when food is being manufactured due to photosynthesis, so in these guard cells, you are looking at the guard cells. These guard cells, there is osmosis there is osmosis. So from the adjoining cells, water goes inside the guard cells. What is osmosis? Osmosis is the inward movement of water molecules from their higher concentration to their lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So water from these neighboring cells go into the guard cells, and because of this the guard cells become turgid. They swell up. Once they swell up, so this stomatal opening, it opens. Okay, so this is from where the water vapor goes out, so that transpiration, stomatal transpiration takes place. I hope it is clear to you. And there is a path of the stomatal transpiration which we can see, which I'm going to discuss here. You needn't read such long passages for this. You just remember this X-MISS, M-I-S-S. This is xylem. Then the water comes into the mesophyll tissues. Then it comes to the intercellular cell, and then the substomatal space, and then outside to the stomata. From the stomata it comes out. Okay, so these are the mesophyll tissues, mesophyll cells, and from here it comes into the intercellular spaces. Here you can see, and from the intercellular spaces they come into the substomatal space, and from the substomatal space they come out of the stomata. So this is the process. You needn't go into the details. It will be easier for you if you do it like this. Now we come to this. Here also don't go into the detail. I'm telling you, this is the dicot leaf, and because there are more stomata on the lower surface of the dicot leaf, so there is more transpiration, and that is why this is the upper part of the leaf showing a blue cobalt chloride paper, and this is the pink color of the this is a pink cobalt chloride paper, because there are so many stomatas on the lower side, under surface. So we see that this has changed to pink color, and for this experiment we have one cobalt chloride paper on the top and the other on the lower side of the leaf, and we have these slides, and we pin up these slides, and then we see the difference. There's not much to read and learn, just understand this. Here we come, we see leaves of some plants wilt during the midday and recover in the evening, because during the midday the rate of transpiration is very high. So and the rate of absorption by the plant from the soil, the water absorption, it is less. So the plant wilts मतलब झुक जाता है, उसमें पानी नहीं जैसे रहता है, वो सूखने के लिए आ जाता है. That is wilting. And then it recovers in the evening because absorption is going on, but there is no transpiration, so it will recover in the evening. Cuticular transpiration and lenticular transpiration I have explained to you, so you needn't worry about that. Factors that affect transpiration. Now you can relate this to drying of clothes. कपड़े सुखाते हैं ना, वैसे ही transpiration का रोल है. ओके, तो जैसे सनलाइट ज़्यादा होती है तो कपड़े जल्दी सूखते हैं. So intensity of sunlight increases, transpiration increases. टेम्परेचर अगर बढ़ेगा तो कपड़े जल्दी सूखेंगे. सेम वे टेम्परेचर अगर बढ़ेगा तो ट्रांसपिरेशन विल बी मोर. वेलोसिटी ऑफ विंड, जब कपड़े नहीं सूख रहे होते हैं बरसात के मौसम में, तो हम कपड़ों को अंदर लाके हवा में सुखा देते हैं. तो द सेम वे ट्रांसपिरेशन इंक्रीजेज विद द वेलोसिटी ऑफ विंड. देन जब बरसात होती है तो कपड़े बाहर नहीं सूखते हैं. तो व्हाट इज़ द रीज़न? बाहर में ह्यूमिडिटी इज़ मोर. सो आप सेम थिंग इज़ हियर. व्हेन देयर इज़ लॉट्स ऑफ ह्यूमिडिटी आउटसाइड, देन ट्रांसपिरेशन इज़ रिड्यूस्ड. Then with carbon dioxide, If there is an increase in the carbon dioxide, then there is a decrease in transpiration, and if there for the atmospheric pressure, the rate of transpiration increases with the decrease in atmospheric pressure. Internal factors की अगर बात देखें तो water content of the leaves, अगर water already है leaves में, तो it will the rate of transpiration will be less, and अगर leaf में कम है water content, so the transpiration will be more. Adaptations in plants to reduce excessive transpiration. Transpiration is reduced. There are many adaptations, especially in the desert plants, because they have to prevent the loss of water. So they have to prevent transpiration. They cannot afford to lose water. So there are different conditions, different adaptations. One, there is sunken stomata. Stomata is inside. Okay. It is sunken, it is covered by hair. So you are going to learn one example. There is Nerium. Then there are plants which have few stomata. Fewer stomata. So few stomata means less of transpiration. Then leaves are narrow, so there will be less of transpiration. Exposed surface is reduced. Then there is loss of leaves, and some plants like cactus, there are spines. Then the cuticle is thick, like in banyan tree, banyan leaves. So in this also transpiration is less. Sorry children, I think I went wrong in the internal factor. If the water content of the leaf decreases, why would it decrease? Because it is not absorbing water by the roots, so the leaves will wilt and the transpiration is reduced. Okay, so please do the corrections. I had started with the importance of transpiration. Here also it is the same thing. It gives a cooling effect. Okay, there is the temperature of the leaves reduces because of evaporation. Just like we sweat, we keep our bodies cool. The same way, there is a suction force, as I told you. Because of transpiration, there will be more absorption of water from the soil by the roots. Then because there will be water absorbed, same way the minerals are also going to be absorbed, so it helps in the distribution of water and mineral salts. Okay, so this is done. And transpiration affects climate. Transpiration increases the moisture in the atmosphere and brings rain. Whenever you you go to any green area or a forest area, you see that the temperature there is always cooler than the other parts. Okay, then we have the difference between evaporation and transpiration. Transpiration is a process. I've already discussed the definition. This is loss of water, one thing, as in the form of water vapor, second thing from the aerial parts of the plant. Okay, this is just loss of water from the surface, and this is a physical change, and it is a fast process. This is a slow process, and it is very important. Guttation and bleeding. Okay, guttation takes place from structures called hydrathodes. Okay, on the margins of the leaves of herbaceous plants, there are hydrathodes. Okay, what happens during the humid conditions, warm humid conditions, there is less of there will be roots will keep absorbing the water. Okay, but transpiration is less. So what happens, this water which is present inside the plant, it wants to come out. So so it comes out through hydrathodes. And examples of these plants which exhibit guttation are banana, nasturtium and strawberry. Okay, and what is bleeding? Bleeding is like we get hurt, we have blood, so blood comes out. Here they have cell sap, So whenever there is an injury to the plant sap comes out from the ruptured part. Okay, so this is what, and there is this difference given between guttation and bleeding. So you can read this, it will not be a problem. And then here we have a sum up of the route, the path that the water, the path through which water moves inside the plant, and then it comes out into the atmosphere. This is absorption and this is transpiration shown here. So here it enters the epidermis, cortex, pericycle, xylem, and then it goes into the mesophyll cells. These are the mesophyll cells, the palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma, and then it goes into the intercellular spaces, and then it comes to the substomatal space, and then it comes out from the stomata. So this is the whole chapter done. I hope you all things will be clear to you and in a short form, and I have tried to complete the whole chapter, and I just hope you are able to do all the MCQs concerning this chapter. And though it is a lengthy chapter, but it is not hard, it is very easy. So please do your MCQs and subscribe my channel.